The days after Jake's message blurred together in a haze of confusion. I tried to push it all away, the letters, the messages, the thoughts of him. But it was impossible. I couldn't stop thinking about Jake, no matter how hard I tried. I went through the motions. I worked. I spent time with Ryan. I smiled when I was supposed to. But there was always this gnawing feeling in the back of my mind. I wasn't being honest with myself, and I certainly wasn't being honest with Ryan. I hadn't replied to Jake's text. I couldn't. Not yet. But the message had done something to me. It had opened a door I didn't know I was keeping shut. The tension, the unanswered questions, the unfinished story between us. It all pulled at me. I knew I had to make a choice. But how do you choose between a life you've already built and a life that's just a whisper of something possible? Then, 3 days later, I received another message from Jake. "I'm not going to wait forever, Emily. I just want to know if there's still a chance. If there's any part of you that feels something for me." I stared at the message for a long time, the weight of his words heavy in my hands. I couldn't ignore it anymore. The silence was suffocating. I had to know. "So," I texted back, "what are you asking me, Jake?" His reply came almost instantly. "I'm asking you to choose. I'm asking you to decide what you really want. You can keep pretending everything is fine, or you can take a chance. But I won't wait forever." It wasn't just a message anymore. It was a declaration, a challenge. The next morning, I told Ryan I had some errands to run. I needed space. I needed time to think. I drove to the cafe where Jake and I had first met. It wasn't a decision I made lightly, but something deep inside me told me I needed to see him one last time. To hear his voice, to look him in the eyes, and finally decide if I was ready to face the truth about how I felt. When I arrived, I found him standing outside, leaning against a lamppost, his hands shoved deep in his jacket pockets. His eyes scanned the street, as if he were waiting for someone. I took a deep breath and stepped out of the car. "Jake," I called softly. He turned, and for the first time in months, I saw his face break into a smile. It was the same smile that used to make me feel like I was the only person in the room. But this time, I didn't know if I was ready to be the person he was waiting for. "I didn't think you'd come," he said. I walked closer, my heart hammering in my chest. "I had to see you," I said, trying to sound confident, though my voice betrayed me. He nodded as if he had already known that was what I would say. "I've waited for you," he said, looking down at the ground before meeting my eyes. "But I won't wait forever. I need to know, Emily. Are you in or out?" I could feel the weight of his question pressing on me. Every part of me wanted to say yes, to walk away from the life I had with Ryan, to take the risk with Jake. But something inside me froze. I couldn't. "I'm not ready," I whispered, my heart sinking as the words left my mouth. Jake's expression didn't change. He nodded slowly, as if he had already expected this. "I get it," he said, "but I won't wait forever." I turned to leave, but as I stepped toward my car, I heard him call out, "Emily, wait!" I stopped, and when I turned back, I saw Jake's eyes were filled with something I hadn't seen before. Desperation, hope, and fear all mixed together. "I'm not asking for everything," he said. "I'm just asking for the chance to see if there's something real between us. You owe me that much." His words hit me like a punch to the gut. My knees felt weak, and I had to grip the car door to steady myself. I started, but then my phone buzzed in my pocket. I looked down, hoping it was just a random text, but when I saw who it was from, my stomach dropped. Ryan. Hey, just checking in. Everything okay? I stared at the message for a moment, feeling my whole world tilt. I hadn't told Ryan about Jake. I hadn't told him anything about the turmoil inside me, the fear of losing everything I had built with him, the guilt of thinking about Jake when I was supposed to be in love with Ryan. I felt my heart racing as I realized I was standing at a crossroads, and both paths were dark, uncertain, and fraught with consequences. Before I could reply, Jake spoke again. Emily, I know you're torn. I can see it, but I can't keep doing this. I can't be your backup plan. You either choose me or you let me go. I felt a chill run down my spine. It wasn't just about me anymore. It was about him too. About what he needed and what I needed. I need to go, I said, my voice barely above a whisper. I turned and climbed into my car, my hands shaking as I gripped the steering wheel. I drove home in a daze, my mind racing. By the time I pulled into the driveway, I felt like I had no control over my life. Every choice felt wrong, every option a betrayal of someone I cared about. I stepped inside, and Ryan was sitting on the couch, scrolling through his phone. Hey, where'd you go? He asked, glancing up at me. I just needed some air, I said, trying to sound casual. But I knew he could see through the lie. He didn't press it. I'm making dinner. You hungry? Yeah, I'm starving, I replied, my voice sounding distant even to my own ears. But as I sat down at the table with Ryan, I couldn't stop thinking about Jake. His words, the way he had looked at me, the way he had asked me to choose. And then, just as I was about to say something, anything, to break the silence, my phone buzzed again. This time, it was a number I didn't recognize. You can't run from this, Emily. The truth always catches up. You can't pretend forever. I'll be waiting, but you won't have long to decide. I stared at the message, my heart stopping for a second. I didn't know who had sent it, but I didn't have to. The message was from Jake, and it was clear. He wasn't done. I looked at Ryan, and in that moment, I knew my life would never be the same again. But what happens when the truth can no longer stay hidden? Don't miss Part 3, where everything changes.